And rejoin Todd Horwitz live from the floor at the CME Group. Todd, thanks for your comments. Helpful, hopefully, to our listeners and viewers in the grain trade. We've seen a turn higher in livestock. What do you make of what you've seen here the last hour?
You know, Mark, I think it's natural. You know, you and I have been watching a couple of levels for a little bit while now. In live cattle, basis August, we were watching 117. Look at where we're at. We're just above 117 right now. We came from below it. But if you take a look at it, you can see it's bouncing around that 117 level. You know that I like cattle. You know that I'm looking for spots to buy. I think we see a little bit more of what we would call a consolidation range along this border, watching here. But I think eventually we'll see a liftoff and we'll see higher prices. But again, I'm not in a hurry to jump in here, but I'm certainly looking for opportunities to buy because I think they go higher. I think if you look at the feeders, we're looking at that same range, right? Below 145, I think 140 is in play, which I'd be a buyer at 140 with my eyes closed. Over 146 brings 152 in play. But in the meantime, here we are in between 145 and 106, turning back and forth. So overall, I'm bullish to space. I want to be an owner, but I want to wait. I think there's more time to wait. I don't think we're going to see just an unbelievable rally from here. I think today you're seeing not only a little bit of buying, but also seeing a reaction to the rest of the markets because everything's going up. So I think that's part of what you're saying.
Everyone wants to get in the play on the day. Looking at the live hogs then, they are back to levels where you'd think that they may get a little toppy in here. Earlier reports from you or comments, $87 still in July, 87, almost 88 in August. Talk about the hogs today.
You know, it's really befuddling here now that we look at this. You know, June can't move. It's stuck. And we're having a major move in August. And yet, as we go further out, we're not having the same kind of action. I think we're probably getting very choppy in here. I don't think that this can be sustained either. I think this move has been very, very powerful, but I think it just shows me that I don't think it can be sustained, and it's kind of being pointed to one spot. So I think you probably will see a little bit of selling pressure here. I'm not bearish yet. I'm still kind of bullish, but I get worried as we go into the future because we do see that backwardation starting to form as we go later on in the time. So overall, I'm very neutral here, but I'm happy they're higher, and hopefully, again, in the hog market, our guys are taking advantage of hedging this up here and locking in these prices because they can certainly do that.
We got a little extra time here, about a minute or so. I want to get your thoughts. You watch the outside markets here as well. What are you focusing on now? The dollar, the oil, stock market? I mean, for all of our viewers and listeners outside the commodities, talk about that.
I think the biggest thing to watch here now, Mark, is the FOMC. That's next Wednesday, the Fed. Now, what's going on here, what we've just seen over the last couple of days is when the jobs number came out on Friday, which was a disaster, that signaled to everybody that the Fed was not going to raise rates. So that killed the dollar. You saw the dollar take a dramatic pull to the downside, which then lifted all the commodities up and a lot of the rest of the markets. And I think you're seeing more of a reaction to the dollar, and really all the markets are really trading the Fed and the dollar, not really trading their own independent markets, which is why I think we're getting well overdone here because there's this money flowing in because they got to buy, they got to own it. And I think that's the bigger problem. And I think after the Fed, I think we see some very serious problems here.
Very good. Well, we look forward to your thoughts tonight when it's all said and done tonight on our Rural Evening News. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Mark.
Todd Horwitz live from Chicago, and indeed he will be joining us tonight on our Rural Evening News as we keep track of these 2-year highs in corn, soybeans, 7-month highs in wheat, and get his comments tonight on our Rural Evening News. So what a day here it has been, and 2 days yet to go. You ready for that?
We've made you and Marlon earn your keep today. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.